Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode 144, news from the gaming frontline with me, George, and as always joined this week by RGT and Bobby, generals of gaming to my private parts. How's it going, guys?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, very well.
Whatever you need to do, if you come up with a joke, sculpt the whole episode name to fit around that, regardless of content of the show. That's how podcast winners do it, baby.
That's facts.
Facts. While we're here, Bobby, nice to welcome you back. I hope you're okay.
Thank you.
Good to have you back on. Good. It's good to not only see you, but hear you, you sexy son of a gun. While we've been away, we had Seb from the Pro Nerd Report on, giving us our indie games he slept on. And then I think me and RGT cracked an episode out where basically me and him compared our Micro Machines collection from the early 90s. If you missed that episode, you're not a true listener. If you want to hear that episode, it's locked behind a paywall now. Shouldn't have slept on it. Let's get physical. Let's get physical. As I ask you, what have you been playing? And let's swing around to the cherub like Bobby. Bobby, while you've been around and about touring the bazaars, tell me what you've been playing.
So I got the platinum for Gotham Knights.
Oh, nice.
With my brother. Yeah.
Wow.
So okay. In the beginning, I was it's not terrible, but it could have been better. And I'm realizing as me and my brother are playing it, it's like this was probably very similar to Marvel's Avengers. And then they decided to change their mind and change up the style of it. So a lot of the costumes and leveling up the weapons you get would have probably been similar to that, but they decided to change it to make it more of a traditional co-op game, I guess. Some of the boss battles were decent, but everyone that you fought in this game, you have already fought in the Arkham series. So nothing really new was happening. And then the story was kind of short. And it's basically, they wanted you to just do the main story. And if you kind of got bored of that with your friend, continue around Gotham, saving and stopping crime over nights and nights and nights. So it wasn't terrible. Could have been a lot better. A lot of the story or the familyness of the story and the bonding is all done through like reading news clips, reading news articles or emails or listening to recordings. If they would have put some of that into the storyline without being optional to read, I think it would have had a little bit more depth. But it was for a 2-player game, just to make friends with you, have some beers, talk to your friends online. It's not bad. Is it going to win Game of the Year? No. Is it going to win anything really? Not really.
Sounds like this show.
So I did that,
or at least the episodes with me on it.
I did that. And, so that's over. Now there's a free DLC. So I'll probably do that with my brother. It adds a little bit more game time to the game. And I'm started
How long
playing.
did it take you, Bobby, to platinum?
Like,
is it many hours of gameplay? Is it quite?
I think it took me like about 20 hours to beat to get the platinum. It's not very long.
No,
not long.
I think it's strange because I ain't seen a lot about it on YouTube or people playing it. I've just gone dead on it. I ain't hardly seen anything on Gotham.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking about it at the beginning, I wasn't too excited about it. It just seemed like a generic, like open world game.
To be honest, I don't want to beat down on it, but from what you've said, it kind of is a little bit like one of those really loud trumps that you can do. Like it literally vibrates your very nether regions. And then there's no smell.
Nothing. It's not, I wouldn't say it's silent but deadly, but it's a little rumble. And you're like, oh, sorry. But then
it's a cheek slapper with no teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you just wish there was a little bit more to it, you know?
Yeah.
And I also think it might have been maybe like a sequel to the Arkham series. They decided to change their mind and they wanted to do like Marvel Avengers, and then that didn't do good, so they were in trouble, which I think why it was delayed. That's just my opinion. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, it was initially billed as a live service game, which then sort of tumbled and stumbled into being a co-op game, which then stumbled and tumbled into being a story game, which tumbled and bumbled into being nothing of any of that, really, or not very good a version of any of that.
I mean, if you're interested, if it goes on sale, I would pick it up. I wouldn't pay full price.
If they'd released a bit earlier, it could have been selling right now at a knockdown price as a stocking filler, $15.99, 20 quid, 25 quid to clear the retailer's shelves. It's a shame because we all know this game took absolutely ages to create. And
my favorite character by far is Batgirl. If you want something even similar to the Arkham Knight style, you got to pick her. The other characters, I don't get how they fast travel or glide across the city. It's just very strange.
Okay. Well, after that,
Robin's a little annoying baby. It's just annoying.
Oh. Well, after that, Charnel House, the bloodbath. The streets of Gotham literally pouring in blood after we've massacred Gotham Knights. What else have you been playing, Bobby?
And then God of War Ragnarok. So I'm probably like 30 hours in that game.
Oh my!
I cannot stop playing it.
Are you loving it?
Oh my God, it's amazing. My friend Marlon got Elden Ring.
Yeah. So
me and my stepfather were going to play Elden Ring with him. And once I picked up God of War, it's like, sorry, bro, you have to wait. There's nothing else being played.
Have you got the spear yet? Presumably you have.
Yep.
Have you seen the Hellhound yet?
No.
You know about it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been busy on side quests and stuff, I presume.
And I think what I like about it's the flow of the game, right? Like the side quests happen as you're progressing through the story. And it's not like I have to travel from Vanaheim to Helheim to Midgard to finish the story.
Yeah.
It's like what's happening in that world. If you want to, go ahead. If you don't, go ahead. What I also like is if you're in a serious part of the story and you try to venture off to see something, Mimir yells at you like, "Hey, come on, we gotta get this done." Come back to that later. Or they'll give you a hint if you go someplace you don't have the item. Instead of trying to figure it out, they're like, "Oh, I don't think we can do that yet."
No, there's times where I've picked up a side mission in the flow of the stories, but then I can't quite work out how to progress that part. You know, it's some distance away and I didn't have X weapon or whatever it was and I couldn't get there. And I did spend quite a bit of time scratching my head thinking, well, am I doing something wrong? Because my only other sort of issue with the game is the waypoints. When you're doing one of the missions, it doesn't lead you like a breadcrumb trail. It just says generally in this area. And sometimes I'll like head in that direction and then I'll look at the waypoint and it'll have gone up, not down. And I'm thinking, no, hang on a minute. This isn't right. But obviously the way that the levels meander means you probably are heading in the right direction. Because I'm like a paranoid guy lacking self-belief, I turn around and then head back in the other direction for it to spin around and be like, you're going this way. And it's, I've done it wrong again.
So you're trying to go north, but some levels go east to west. But you're going north, but on your map, it looks like you're turning around. So I kind of got used to it. I just look at the menu every now and then, the map. Yeah. I'm going the right way. I'll get there eventually. So far, so I love it. I love it. This Game of the Year contender. Okay. For me, it's going to be between Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok. My only issue is tell me the story of Elden Ring.
Well, as we know, there isn't.
And then tell me the story of Ragnarok. At least you know what's the story of Ragnarok is. It's like, you know what's happening.
Yeah.
Elden Ring was great. The combat was great. The co-op was great. Tell me the story. Go ahead. That's a big issue. So this might win. So far, it's been touching. There's been some drama. There's been some sadness. There's been some action. It has everything you could have possibly want in a video game. I almost cried in it, and I don't even have a son, but we all have dads, so it got me thinking. You know,
Yeah,
pretty good.
God of War. I was thinking this, and I wonder if this was like a cognitive thought while they were making the game. The first God of War. I mean, I didn't agree with this, but I kind of see where they were going. I saw so many articles and people say, "Oh, God of War taught me how to be a father." Like, really? Took a video game to teach you that?
Yeah.
And now I see God of War Ragnarok as I expect to see a journalist saying, "God of War Ragnarok taught me how to be a father to a teenage child." Like, oh, interesting. So they've explored the elements of parenthood through the medium of a video game. And I think I'd like that if it was a little more subtle. But it really slaps you in the face, doesn't it? Here's sort of.
Let's just say you had to have a video game dad between Joel or Kratos.
Ooh.
Cool.
I mean, would you? I'd be happy because they'll both protect you. But really, it's rough.
I think I'd prefer Joel as a father, only because he's a little bit more relatable. I can imagine walking in some days and being like, Dad, Kratos, Dad, my two dads. This is the name the episode should have been. Like, who do you pick, Joel or Kratos? You've put me in a corner and you've been like, pick between these two psychos. It's like, oh, which one am I going to be least damaged by? Probably Joel, because. A sort of redundant god of war from the Greek mythos, who just when he's bored rips people's arms out of their sockets, sticks them in their ears, and rides them around like a moped. Atreus being part god could probably survive that. Me, I'd bleed out before he got halfway to the shops for a bag of Freddos. So, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if Eva's watching me play, she'll watch God of War. She finds it interesting what's happening.
It's got the graphical fidelity and it's got the acting chops, and in a way has you on the, even as a third party watching the game, it has you on the edge of the seat thinking, can he get through this particular area? Can he do that? Oh, crikey, story's picked up. And again, the flow between gameplay to story and back again, some of the cuts where you go from Kratos to Atreus and the way they've been done. Like there was a transition through wall punching. It was Kratos, and his arm sort of blinked into Atreus's, and because I was looking at the wall because I was thinking, oh, that wall seems to have changed a bit. What's happened here? And then the camera panned out, and it was Atreus. It was like that was slick in a nice. No cut game, which they pride themselves on, from one thing to the next. And how do you get from playing as one character to another in one seamless transition without a menu and flicking in between? And using the narrative to flip you as a character. I'll be honest, probably going to rock the boat a little bit here. I enjoy playing as Atreus more than Kratos.
Oh, he's so fast. He's so fast. I mean, it's like a different game with him. Which
is he like an archer? Because obviously I haven't played it yet. Is he like? Does he do archery? Has he got the bow?
He has archery. He has his little hand-to-hand combat moves he has, but he's just lightning fast compared to
Kratos. he's like the speed and ranged character, whereas Kratos is the slower, bigger muscle.
Yeah.
Thing is, okay. As you get a little bit further as Atreus, you get another weapon that you can use, because normally he's someone else's ranged attack.
Yeah,
so when you're playing as him, you inherit a weapon that gives you the ability to have a ranged attack, even if you're on your own. That ranged attack is possibly my best friend I've ever had in a game.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
But
as I'm hitting the attack buttons, I throw square. Square.
My attacks are basically square, maybe L2, maybe L1. I'm not even bothered. Yeah, square. So,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Really good. To those that haven't played the game, when you go back, when you've played it, come back and listen to this episode and rate me out of 10 sound effect rating for that noise I just did. Bobby, put in the sleeping giant, barely sleeping, snow-covered Ragnarok to bed. Is there anything else that's been piquing your gaming interest?
No, that's it, really. I haven't played anything else. I made my sister, Katie, in FIFA to play the Women's League.
Wow.
But cool. That's it. I haven't. I made her. It looks like her, and then I stopped. That's probably
I
it
got
for
in and
FIFA
out.
for now. Yeah,
Minimum pain threshold here of FIFA talk. If that's all we're going to have to deal with,
that's it.
awesome. RGT's like, oh, feel the pain. You're going to wish Tom was back talking about Overwatch, boy, because let me regale you through a 40-hour campaign of FIFA this week. RGT, what have you been playing?
Just FIFA. No, I haven't. I haven't played any FIFA this week. Just before I do my games, I just thought I'd make an apology. Last week I forgot to mention our new partners, Retro Replay Arcade. So
That's on you, that is.
Yeah, I apologise for that. So everyone, yeah, if you're in that area, if you're in Norwich, check out Retro Replay Arcade. Fantastic arcade. In the current crisis with energy bills and bits and pieces, it's a great way to have fun. £10 for a whole day of free play arcade machines, console area, licensed bar, everything. So yeah, check them out. Castle Quarter in Norwich. So yeah, that's for last week as well. So sorry about that, guys.
That's
anyway,
awesome.
I will get back to games. I've got one really good game and one game I'm not very happy with this week. So I'm going to start with the game I'm not very happy with, and I can imagine you probably know what that is, George. Grid Legends. Now, I'm lucky enough. I
reap
paid
what you sow, mate. You reap what you sow.
I paid a cut price for this, which I'm glad I did. I paid £17 for this, and I'm glad I did because started off. I mean, I'll just start when they advertised this game. All you see is the live action actors in this big story mode, right? And that's what the game is based on. Okay, so when you go in the game, you've got this story mode with these actors, this cutscene, and it's a bit generic. It's a bit cheesy. It's quite good. It's well acted in the cutscenes. You've got Raven West, the bad team, who are cheating, and you're blah, 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 and you go through to try and knock them off the top spot. Doesn't quite work that well because the league table isn't done on points. So there's races you can't do, and they just show you what comes out of it. And when you do race, if you win every race, because it's already been recorded and done, Raven West will always be ahead of you because that's the narrative of the story they've done. So it's a bit broken that way. But what really got my goat, you've got a career mode, which is you just race in different races. You unlock the next one, you unlock a car, and you carry on. It's a bit half done. And there's an online mode. I haven't even looked into that. But the story mode, if you look on your start screen, it's 4 seasons. I finished the first season in about 3 hours. Quite enjoyed it. I thought I'm going to start the second season. Clicked on it to play it. £7 if you want to play the second season. £7 for the third season. £7 for the fourth season. You only get the full story if you have the bigger version when you buy it, the deluxe model. So if you buy the standard edition, you only get a quarter of the story. Now the story does finish in that first season, but there's 3 more seasons to do.
Oh,
now
so that story mode is about. So if you paid full price for that, you've got that story mode, which is about 3 hours long. You've got a half-baked career mode and a bit of online. And I'm like, for what, and the actors, the cutscenes you see, the actors probably could have filmed this in less than a week. So you really want to see all the other cutscenes and the new seasons and 2, 3, and 4, you got to pay for it.
Sounds like Ray's got himself a job at Codemasters marketing department.
Well, Codemasters being sold to EA, I mean, I give them this hope this time because I used to love Codemasters. I mean, right back from the Spectrum days, right up to the modern day.
Isn't your kid named Codemasters?
Definitely, yeah.
Middle name Dizzy Egg.
Yeah. And I could not believe it. So you only get the 4 seasons of story if you bought the deluxe version from the start.
Wow. And that game was a $70 game.
I believe so. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't looked that up. I mean, I wondered why, because that dropped in the first 2 months to $34.99, and then I got it in a sort of early Christmas sale for $17. I thought, right, well, I'll have a go. Have a go.
Dropped quicker than Mumsy's pants at the gamekeeper's ball.
Yep, definitely quicker. That's the PG rating gone. So yeah, I was. I'm trying to patch over this.
Don't paper over the cracks too hard, because that wallpaper I put on's holding the cracks together from the wallpaper before, so the shit's limping on.
So I stopped playing now. I had a little dabble with the career mode, but I was so wound up. I was like, no, I'm done with this. This is a joke. I couldn't believe it. And I mean, I wouldn't mind so much if the DLC for the season 2, 3, and 4 were 10 hours long each, and the first story was 10 hours long each, but it's not. It's 2 to 3 hours. If you rush through it, you can do that in 2 to 3 hours. You can do that in an afternoon. And that was what
That's
that
wild.
whole game was sold on, that story mode with it's got that actor guy out of Sex Education and a few other American actors in you'll recognise. And that was all sold on this live action story mode that you get a quarter of. I was just like, that EA, come on.
Yeah, that's
Come
really
on.
bad.
That is not good enough. So anyway, from that, I'll go to a good game, which I have really put hours in this week. I'm about 30 hours in, and that's Harvestella on the Switch. That game has got me.
What's it called?
Harvestella. It's basically, I don't know if you've seen it, Bobby. It's like a crossover between Stardew Valley and like a Final Fantasy RPG.
Oh,
So it's not as nowhere near as in depth as Stardew. It's nowhere near as in depth as a Final Fantasy. It's a very basic version of a farming sim, but it's a very basic version of an RPG. But together, it really, really works. It's very addictive, and the story's okay. It's quite good. It's getting more in depth as you go. The pacing of it is absolutely spot on. I'm still now 30 hours in and still learning stuff. They'll teach you one little thing, and then you go for 2 or 3 hours until you know that, and then show you something else, and that all unlocks as you go.
When you say it's not as deep as Stardew Valley,
yeah,
what does that look like in terms of that? What mechanics are missing and what's there? Because let's face it, as a farming sim, Stardew Valley doesn't compete with Farming Simulator 19 stroke 22, does it?
No, it's
so it's the lightest of farming sims, or it's the lightest of old school Harvest Moon RPG sims.
It's the lightest of old school. It's the key mechanics are there from Stardew, literally robbed from Stardew. You have a storage box. You don't have to make storage boxes, so this is how they cut it down in Stardew Valley.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
I know you're a fan of Stardew.
Yeah.
But it walked in. It didn't even have the audacity to wear a mask and hide its face from Harvest Moon as it stuck a dagger to its throat and said, all your mechanics are now mine. I'm going to pass them off as my own. And everyone's going to gather around my game telling everybody what a genre-defining title I am. And I like Stardew Valley. But to me, it's rocking up to a party doing tricks that everyone's going ooh, woo, and wow to that I was enjoying when I was playing Harvest Moon on the PS1.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I think you're right. I compare it to Stardew Valley because probably a lot of the audience haven't played Harvest Moon. I would imagine they probably don't know what Harvest Moon is. So
I'm going to go back to Sleep 1996 called, and the WWE want their SmackDown Rock bedding set back. I'm just going to snuggle into that.
So what they've done, you've got the key mechanics of Stardew without the route to get it. So storage boxes on Stardew, you would have to gather materials to get wood to make storage boxes. They're already there on Harvestella. You've got your box, you can sell things. Watering on Stardew Valley, you can upgrade your watering can, upgrade your watering system. On Harvestella, you literally just have you can just water it, and it does it quick, and you go. But the main thing is you can make juice makers, you can make cheese making machines, smokers, bits and pieces. They're really easy to do. You can gather materials easy enough. But the main key thing is you grow your food. You can go to your kitchen to make dishes, which is similar to Stardew, which then gives you HP and health when you're in battle. So you make all your dishes up, take them with you, because of the health system's quite unique. You've got a stamina and a health bar and a little basic image of a stomach. So you can eat all the food, fill a stomach up, and then as your stamina goes, that takes out the stomach and fills your stamina bar up again.
But that's like your medicine pouch.
Yeah, so and you can take various bits with you. You can have a party of up to 3 people as you gain people as you go. You've got side quests which are really good and linked to the story. And it's easy to play, great controls, laid back. And I'm loving it. And I'm pumping the hours in that at the moment. And yeah, can't only rate it enough. I think I paid, it was another Square Enix cut price ones. I think I paid £45 for it on the Switch.
Wow, that's a good price.
Yes, yeah, a lot of their games are coming out that sort of price at the moment, especially on the Switch, which has got a good price. But it is only on Switch at the moment, and I think it might be PC, but it's not on other consoles at the moment. But if it does come out and you get it cheap enough, highly recommend. Highly recommend. Fantastic.
Is that it? I mean, once I've finished wobbling on, if you've finished your eloquent read through of the games you've played, is there more?
I've got my hidden gem. If you
wait. The flow of the show says to me the wave of the hidden gem can only lap once we've talked about what we've been playing, but before the shells and the sandcastles of the news get washed away.
Okay.
So is it my turn?
It certainly is.
Go for it.
We all know that you turn up to this show to get the very latest gaming news. And last week, we did an episode called Indie Games I Slept On. Well, let me tell you about an indie game. Well, to be fair to the show, it was in Stingray's boot about 2 years ago. Little Big Workshop. That game should come with a health warning. It's crack, basically packaged up and downloaded via your eyeballs. It's this really simple management sim where you have these little workers that are really cute. You can zoom in and go full like normal speed, not fast forward time, and they're doing all this. So what you do is you basically get this factory, you get the materials you organize to come in, so you make the plans. To make the plans, you have to go into the blueprints and you decide what materials, because you have to match the specific ratings. Like it needs to look good, it needs to be strong, it needs to be environmentally correct. Yep. So you go through and then you have these. So you match all the materials, so you can say, yeah, I can make the product strong enough as you like it. And then you have to match it to your workstation. So you either have to buy or you have these workstations. So like a wood table where you can cut wood, jigsaw wood. So you start off with the basics, but it takes you a long time to do these things. So there's a wood machine, a metalworking machine, all that sort of stuff. And all these things combine at assembly tables that you set up, where they put the item together, put it on the shelves, and you can arrange delivery. It's one of those games you can just leave running in the background as well. Once you get your factory sorted, you just leave it burgling along and you just watch your little workers. And every night I've sat down, I said, I ought to play a little bit of God of War Ragnarok. I tell you what, I'll just have 5 minutes on Little Big Workshop. 4 a.m, pretty much every night this week, I've been like, oh, God.
I saw that on Discord, said you were playing till 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, I'm done. But then
Can I just say
up.
something?
Yes.
I want someone to look at me the way you looked at us talking about this game, because that was magical. You understand?
I think I'm too tired to even know.
The way you looked describing this game brought me life, bro.
Did it? Well, let me tell you one thing as well. I don't want this game to get jumped on and then these trophies made not ultra rare. But as far as I can see it, the only thing between someone and a platinum on this is time. And that time is the most enjoyable time I have had with the game. Controversial. This is RGT's like looking through his fingers. He's like, oh, no, mate. No, don't do this. In about 2 years. Okay?
Really?
This game is like the engineer's version of Stardew Valley.
Oh, okay. Right. Now,
you start off with like a little workshop with the little stores next to it and then the loading bay. I now have this central spine that has this massive assembly room in it with 20 workers dedicated to it. And
like Amazon.
Exactly. And then these ribs come off it. So I've got a metalworking room, a plastic creation room, a woodworking room. And then I've now got at the top my big plant room. And that's got like industrial size smelters and plastic extrusion materials. So you start off making little things like tables and bedside coffee tables. And the range goes all the way up to, I'm now making scooters and sailing boats and, and to see it all come together with the workers, oh God, it just doesn't get boring. I can see once I've finished the end challenge, there's probably not much reason to carry on. One thing I did know, on December the 1st, as soon as the date clicked over, snow started falling. Everyone swapped their hats for Father Christmas hats. And all the trees that you put around inside to keep people's mood up, because the machines are loud and noisy and smelly and it brings their mood down. All those different things that you put in there turned to Christmas trees, and all the stations had little wreaths put on them. The level of detail.
That's
level of detail.
So what are you playing it on? You're on
PS5. It's a PS4 game, playing it backwards compatible. Now, it all smells amazing. It all smells. George, tell me about this coffee you're drinking. It's beautiful. It's great. But now, whether it's being played on PS5 and it's backwards compatible, but the bigger the factory gets, and I don't just play this game for an hour at a time. I play this game for hours at a time. I find that it's become quite unstable. When it does an autosave, you're thinking to yourself, am I going to get crashed back to the dash? Or is this going to carry on this time? So there are some what I would call glitches in it, which I am ignoring because of how much fun I'm having. But if I wasn't having fun and these glitches happened, it caused me to put it in the bin, because sometimes you can lose like a couple of hours of progress. But, for the most part, you come back in and you're not too far away from the last autosave. Little Big Workshop. If you just want somewhere to grind away and get yourself an easy platinum, I say easy. It's not easy, but there's nothing in there that's requires what I would call Twitch gaming reflexes. You can just slowly work through it. And
it's very expensive.
I think I paid in a sale. It was like £10 if that.
Oh, wow.
I've often gone in the store and looked at the trailer and been like, oh, that's really cute. I like that. But eventually I was like, I'm having this. I went to go get Jack Move. After we talked about it last week, I was like, yeah, I need that game. Ended up in my library, downloading Little Big Workshop. That's the sort of guy I am. You can make games consoles in it. You can make scooters. You can make bikes. You can make, and each individual component, like you make the cogs, you make the chain.
Oh, wow.
And you can get people simultaneously making all this at once. And when you see all the parts arrive, if you've done it right, in the assembly room at the same time, and then assemble those subcomponents into the bike, and then they're like, hey, they pick it up and take it down, they put it in the export area. There's so much charm in this game that the heavy hitter, God of War Ragnarok, I think maybe I did 4 hours on it this week. And that's saying something, because I am enjoying that game. Callisto Protocol, public service announcement. It arrived, played it last night. It's a good-looking game. Obviously, it's not a PS5, Xbox Series X exclusive, so there are times where it feels a bit old school. And I'm going to be honest, it's very much Dead Space's spiritual successor. We knew it was going to be. Does it have as much style and aplomb right now?
I've seen some mixed reviews.
Me too.
Dead Space, right from the get-go, you knew it was a game. Obviously, I know that this is a game. Don't get me wrong, okay? It's a game, but it had its gameplay loops and its gameplay mechanics nailed. Dead Space, even when I played it, XYZ years after launch for the first time, it wasn't a graphical powerhouse anymore, but it gripped me. And it was the gameplay loop that pulled me in. Not the graphics, because by the time I played it, graphics have moved on a considerable amount, but the gameplay hooked me in. And the story hooked me in. Am I feeling this right now in Callisto Protocol? Probably not. It's a little clumsy at times. And I want to get drawn into a game from the start and then be able to just let that sort of new game enthusiasm wash me through. But I played the first bit, which is tutorial, basically taught you basic locomotion. From there, story, something happens, and then you do a bit more. Halfway through that transitionary period, the whole game crashed. It started with the mouse desyncing from the audio, and then the game crashed, which then forced me to have to replay an intermediate section, an interactive cutscene, and then get back to where I was. And at that point, I was like, this is not ideal.
See, that's not good.
And there's been a few times where I've seen it chug, and I don't really see any reason why it should be chugging, especially on what's now current gen, but people still hail as next gen consoles. So I need to do some digging, find out if it's PlayStation specific. If not, we'll have to fire up the Series X. But yeah, so a little bit. To be honest, the gameplay is fine. I see it. Do you know what? I don't really see it as Dead Space either. Do you remember that Chronicles of Riddick Butcher Bay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting massive Chronicles of Riddick vibes from it. I'm getting really early aughts vibes from this game. Not only from the prison aesthetic to the jumpsuit that you wear to having a shiv. I was thinking it, and then I was thinking this game reminds me of Chronicles of Riddick. Then someone gave me a shiv, and I was like, this game is Chronicles of Riddick. So probably need to spend some time on God of War this week. I want to get that done. It deserves the respect. And, I didn't mean to upstage it with a little big workshop, but sometimes these sort of little gems crawl out of nowhere and bite us on the backside. And I don't really want to.
That's what gaming's all about, man.
I know, but sometimes you have momentum in a story. And if you have it too long, you come back and you're like, who's Atreus again? Obviously, that's not going to happen. But yeah, I'm mindful of the fact I don't want to let God of War go off the boil because I've got some good stuff going on in that game, story-wise and development-wise. And we've reached the point, I think, where the lid's going to come off. So it was probably time to go off and clear some other games out and then take God of War Ragnarok to the end game. Callisto Protocol, probably a nice December Christmas game. It doesn't feel like it's going to outstay its welcome, nor does it feel already like it's overly long. So I would say by the time the end of the month rolls around, stroke year, Callisto Protocol will have put a smile on my face for that. Combat's a bit, takes some getting used to. There's no HUD elements, so you have to dodge left and right with a left stick. The fighting in that regard reminds me more of like this bizarre mashup between sort of Fight Night on PS3 and 360 when it launched, where you moved your box around from the waist. This guy, he looked like a Scouser having an argument with you. It's like, he'd be like all over them when you were dodging blows. And that's in this game. There's a dodge button and there's a block button, but you have to pull block. It gives these instructions on the screen, pull back to block. Well, that's not exactly right, is it, game? Because I've tried pulling back to block. So a lot of games you pull to hold to block, you hold block. So you would pull back. That makes your character walk backwards. What you have to do is when they swing at you in the timing window, you pull back at that point. Then he'll bring up a pipe and he'll block. So yes, it took some working out, but it's
Same
just
unusual controls.
It's a melee. I think primarily it's doubling down on its melee focus at the start because you literally have a pipe which upgrades to a baton and you're literally thrown in at the deep end. And it's hand-holdy, but it's not hand-holdy. It kind of goes like, here's the basic controls, crack on. It's like, oh, right, okay. And then it gives you subsequent monsters to try and perfect that. But I think I came through the first combat experience thinking, well, did I do that right? Or did I just brutally smash the hell out of R2 and brute force over ignorance every day? And then you get to another section, you're like, I didn't get the hang of that really, did I? Because I'm not surviving a room with two monsters in it. So let me revisit this. So it's taken a little while, obviously, playing it around the same time as Ragnarok as well. Probably leaves me a bit exposed, pumping buttons that don't really do anything in Callisto Protocol as I adjust. Probably should have waited and had a palate cleanser, but like a kid at Christmas, Ray dropped Callisto Protocol off and I savaged the wrapper off with my teeth. It's in the machine. Of course it is. Because I heard graphics. But yeah, it's more Doom 3 than it is I don't know, some graphical game of that era.
Yeah.
But,
is it third person or first person?
Third.
Third person, okay.
So you see him moving around. He's got like this core thing that they implant in his neck to show a prisoner's health, which is basically the no HUD way of showing your health, like Dead Space with the lights on the back of your pack. It's not even pretending not to be inspired by Dead Space. So the guy who made it has made this as well. But it's basically Dead Space 4. Meets Chronicles of Riddick, meets Doom 3.
All right, okay.
If you want an up-to-the-date review for that, you know, stick that on the box, Callisto Protocol. Maybe the special edition, because you might need a sheet of A4 for that. Anyway, let's draw a line under my rather mediocre what you've been playing. Big up, little big workshop. If I don't see a smorgasbord of people's factories telling me how I could have done it better on the Discord, are you even gamers anymore? Well, to help you on the route to being a gamer, the man with more games, I ain't got a lot of brains. So that's probably not a very good thing, because then you could have 3 and that would be okay. The man with more games than I've had hot dinners. Let's keep it simple. Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. We've got this new thing, Bobby. I don't know if you know, but you know, it also gets posted in Discord. Things happen on the show now without me even knowing. I was in the Discord the other day. I thought, RGT's Hidden Gems. Clicked on it. And I was like, oh, this is really good. Look at the Bloodwake review. Look at the Bloodwake story. And I was like, this is really good. I like this. If you were sat on the fence, you like Discord, Schmisscord. Guten Morgen. That's Discord is 9 for me. There's my German coming out. It's probably not the best. And we've just lost that massive tranche of German listeners that we've got.
Good while it lasted.
Yeah, you know what? It was beautiful. Might even go to a German Christmas market this afternoon to try and make up for it. Where did we get to? Anyway, Hidden Gem, Opal Fruit, RGT, what's in your boot? Don't let Ray know, else he'll slit your throat.
Yeah.
What good priced gem do you have for it? What's your Opal Fruit then, RGT?
This week, I've got Lara Croft and Temple of Osiris. I don't know if any of you have played that. I feel this game goes really under the radar as part of the Tomb Raider series. It's a bit of a spin-off, but a great game. I don't know. Have you played it, Bobby?
Yeah, I have played it, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you would just got that Diablo vibe to it, and that's that isometric.
Oh, is it that one?
Yeah, they done one. I think it was they done one which is digital only, PS3, Xbox 360, which was Guardian of Light or something.
Yeah, Guardian of Light. Yeah.
But this is you can pick this up physical on PS4, but it's available on PC and Xbox One. But they're also trying to bring it to Switch at the moment, I think, as well. So it could do a good chance if anyone's got a Switch, they can download it. Great game. Like I say, it's isometric, bit of a dungeon crawler. It's got a good little story to it. It's better fun if you have more people. You can have up to 4 players, all playing through with your different people, with your different attributes. Good looking little game. Some good little puzzles in. I absolutely loved it. I played for it once on my own and played for it once again with a friend. Thought it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, you can pick this game up £8 to £12. If you go for £10 to £12, you probably get it sealed for PS4. But I recommend if you want to go, if you're really into Lara Croft, I went for the gold edition, which you can pick up between 12, 15, maybe a bit more pound, and you get an art book, you get a scroll, you get a little Lara Croft sort of pop vinyl looking figurine, lovely little set, and you can pick them up. I mean, I think there's a couple on eBay at the moment, £10 to £12 as well for those box sets. So you can get the box set as well on the PC as well. But yeah, I'd highly recommend it. If you're into them sort of isometric games, definitely give it a go, because it's really, really good. Great fun game. Brilliant value for the money. So yeah, that's what I'd go for.
How much is it?
Like I say, if you're buying a physical copy, you can probably pick it up from £8 to £10 sealed. If you want the gold edition, which is a little thicker box with a little Lara Croft figure and bits and pieces in, you can probably pick up maybe as cheap as £12 up to about £15, £20. Depends on how many are on eBay at the time. I think I paid less than £10 for my gold edition.
Wow. So another absolutely stellar April fruit. I'm looking forward to reading more about the details and following the links in the Discord channel when that goes up. So
we've got that set up now. We've got the Hidden Gems by RGT. Thanks for Bo Blobe for setting that up, and also thanks to Bada Binkster for doing the brilliant artwork. He's doing custom little artworks for each game as well, which look brilliant. It really set it off. So I'll just give a bit of information on there if you're interested. Join the Discord. Join the Discord, and I do a little, give it a Metacritic score, what the price is, a little bit about the game. So have a look. Come join.
So what you're saying was we've moved into the Renaissance era. Now we have an Italian artist.
Definitely. The best Italian artist.
Okay.
The best.
The best. I thought you weren't doing those impressions anymore. Well, I am. It's a me, Bada Binkster. I think he's in his sort of joss stick, rolling around in the paint phase floor on the floor sort of thing, and selling his canvases for like 2 million bucks sort of era. Can you see that happening?
100%.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, if that's not news, this is. We scoured the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, I'm going to wade in with this one. Dragon New around town. Sega has released a new gameplay trailer for the upcoming action RPG Like a Dragon Ishin. It spotlights the title's combat system, which is primarily based upon 4 unique fighting styles: Swordsman, Gunman, Wild Dancer, and Brawler. That put a frog in my throat, didn't it? Don't do that. Don't change voices on there again, George.
You went too deep then, George. Too deep.
That's what she said.
You can switch between these styles at any time in a fight, with each of them sporting their own strengths and weaknesses. If there's anything to be pulled from this footage, it's that Ishin's combat looks especially bloody. Yakuza battles have always been brutal, but this game's samurai edge has given RGG Studio an excuse to wheel out some seriously over-the-top blood effects, and we're all for it. But, and we've never been fans of this practice, Sega has done it before and it's doing it again. Like a Dragon Ishin will be playable 4 whole days before its release date if you pre-order the game digitally. For 4 days of early access is specifically promoted as a pre-order bonus. Like a Dragon Ishin is still set to release on 21st of February 2023. Are you looking forward to this highly rated and remastered Yakuza Like a Dragon spin-off? Answer, yes! Keep one hand on your blade in the show's Discord. Let us know what you think. Obviously, a few fans, Rare Space Monk most notably.
Oh, yeah, he loves the Yakuza game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He regrets calling his son Game Boy Matty now in a bid to an old console. He's not dated well. That kid should have been called Kazumi Kiryu, at the very least. Guys, what do you make of... I know you're not going to really be wild about Ishin and its different fighting styles, and that's fine, because that's my game, and no one else is allowed to play it. On planet Earth, so only one copy will be sold. I shall challenge Roast Space Monk to a duel in the Discord about that. But more focused on the fact that this whole pre-order play it days before anybody else rigmarole, and you have to pay for that, and even though it's out 4 days after, what's that all about? And locking it behind as a pre-order bonus, it won't be an issue to me. I mean, I'm going to get the physical copy. Will I pre-order it digitally as well? Hold me back, guys. Hold me back. Yeah, I probably will.
Seems more of a way of trying to bottleneck people into digital, doesn't it? Dragging them away from physical copies. It seems to be. It's either that or they're trying to get the real fans to buy both.
I feel it's the latter, if I'm honest. But the bonus about that is, let me sell it to you the way they should have sold it. Pre-order it digitally. Okay. Excellent. You get to play the game 4 days early. Pre-order it physical. Sealed copy on the shelf of your beloved game, never touched by a human hand. Why did I sing that?
I don't know, but I liked it.
To me, it made it feel less creepy, but the only thing that resulted in it was it made me look really creepy. And that's not a look I'm going for here on the show.
I wouldn't say creepy, I'd say more disturbing.
That was my guttural roar. I don't know which I'd rather be. So, Bobby, let me swing to you. How do you feel about saying if you digitally pre-order this, we'll let you play with it 4 days early? Meaning it was ready 4 days ago, but you had to just wait some sort of predetermined period of paywall before you, the average man, not that you're the average man, but let's just say for a moment you're role-playing the world of an average man, a very good-looking average man. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think it's a waste of time. I think, like you said, if they would have did that before, do the digital, and you get to fit, buy the physical, no one touches it, would be better. It's just 4 days. It's not a really big deal.
No. What if they'd done that to Ragnarok?
I don't get it.
Someone in those 4 days, technically, it would have been possible for someone to finish that game if they burned the midnight oil. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Before it's even out by anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any legs in such a bizarre move, do you think? If you felt like, I finished this game, it's not even out for you mere mortals, you plebeians to play. Is there some kudos in that, or is that not cool for school?
No, not really, because I wouldn't care if you played it first before me. It doesn't matter. You expect like this happens when you do a review copy. They gave it to you. You review it for somebody. Okay, big deal. I don't see the point of it, to be honest.
RGT, what do you think about this paywall thing that's going on?
I'm with Bobby, really. I don't really see it. I mean, I'm more of a physical collector, obviously. If I was going to buy the game, I'd pre-order physical. 4 days. I mean, what's 4 days?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 4 days.
In 4 days, you can finish something else. You can finish something else. Play this one.
And by the time you have actually got your physical copy, the other gamers are probably only just getting to the end anyway, so you're not going to see too many spoilers if you're that way inclined. I mean, if I wanted physical, I'd buy physical. It wouldn't worry me if you get an early bonus for just installing digital. I don't know what the idea of that is, but they've obviously got some sort of marketing behind it. But
okay, before we move on, you made me think of something there. PlayStation Stars. Mm-hmm. What's your experience like with that, and are you enjoying the journey? RGT first.
I had a couple of new, I don't even know what they're called, trophies, figurines,
collectibles.
That's it. Because I accidentally pressed the app the other day and they popped up.
Let me stop you there. Let me pull on my galoshes and wade in. What the frick is the point with those collectibles? Where can I view it? On my phone. Okay. Can I zoom in on it and look at the really nice artwork that they've done? No. It's literally the tiniest rotating piece of garbage I've ever seen. Why don't it let me go full screen, zoom in, turn it round, focus on the details, make it feel like my collectible that I've earned, I can look at. God forbid I have to stare at a postage stamp from the top of Mount Everest. Like, yeah, that's great, guys. Yeah, well worth the time and effort that was. Now, I do enjoy getting them. It's like a little extra trophy when they pop. But I'm struggling to see the legs in me chasing the collectibles. I'm doing it anyway. Yeah. Most of them auto pop. The ones that I've been vaguely interested in, I'll go and have a look at them. I'm also intrigued to find out your opinion on the stars. I'm level 3, gunning towards level 4. I need some ultra rare trophies, another 20, I believe, and it will actually give me level 4, in which case I get the quick access to the service agents at Sony HQ, which in the whole time I've had a PlayStation, the only time I've rang PlayStation with a fault was my PlayStation 1, which had to be turned upside down but was covered under warranty. That was the last time I spoke to a PlayStation representative. Something tells me being fast-tracked in the queue today has minimal value. We questioned it at the time, but what the hell's going on? Bobby, you collect everything game-related. Trophies, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Are you even mildly curious in PlayStation collectibles?
To be honest, I don't even know what's going on. I just signed up for it.
Today or just with this?
When it came out, and I just been doing what I normally do, and I get a figurine. Apparently I have 7. I can care less.
What level are you? Have you got access
almost
to the
4?
Almost 4.
And I'm not even trying because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean,
so I just don't care about it.
I just find that it seems something that's a bit half baked again that they've done. It seemed a good idea at the time, but am I right in thinking that because you can only access these through your phone, can't you?
Correct.
There's no way of accessing these through your console.
No.
But surely people would be more involved in this if you're playing on your game and then a little notification crops up. Oh, check your phone. You've just got another collectible in your app, in your system. Go and check this, or you're only this far away from it. But there doesn't seem to be no connection.
In their defence, I've got a smartwatch and play my phone in my pocket. When they drop, bzzz, look at my watch. Oh,
yes, yeah, it does.
Right,
that, yeah.
okay, I've got it. Didn't say on the screen, but I've got it. You know, the interacting functions work well. I'm just wondering if what they're delivering, you know, I could deliver to you overnight, really quickly, in a tuxedo, a dog poo. It doesn't make the contents of the box any better, does it? Really?
Well, no, and also I think if they're, you know, they've done this a bit before with some of the new plus and on premium bits and pieces. But anyway, I'm digressing. But they go all for it before it comes out, and you're getting, you're going to get these collectibles, you're going to get this, it's going to be on your phone, you can view them, you can do this, blah blah blah. It comes out, nothing. You know, there's no adverts for it, or don't forget to keep checking, or you're going to be getting this, and if you do this, that's only if you happen to open the app on your phone, you'll know anything about it. And I find that a bit. They seem to push. It's released, nothing. So people are just going to fall away from it because there's no reminders.
I've managed to gather up by some of the challenges by having a go in the sales, so a little big workshop, and other games that I've decided to put in my digital thing. You know, games I always want to be able to play. Because Last of Us Part 2, I think it was out the other day on the sale. It was like $12.99.
Yeah, $15.
Yeah.
Like what?
Which is phenomenal.
Hell? I was like, add to library. Never know where I might be and might want to play that. So that's going in there. So I've got 1,634 points, which I believe is the financial equivalent of. No idea. Point history. No, I think it's about £5. So in the last month, I've been able to build up £5 worth of PlayStation credit, maybe just over £7, to be able to spend that wouldn't have been there prior to collectibles. That is welcomed. But if you're going to do something, make a bit more of it. Interesting stuff. Let me move one of you along to this next bit of news. Who wants this?
I'll go if you want. I don't mind.
Yeah? Okay.
Yep. So long and thanks for all the forge. Following recent release of Halo Infinite Winter Update, longtime 343 Industries employee Tom French has announced his departure from the team. In a brief message on social media, French said he was stepping out of his Spartan armor to go on new adventures. He added how it has been a massive honor to be part of Halo's journey over the years and was truly proud of his time at 343. Tom French, after over 11 and a half years on Halo, I step out of my Spartan armor for the last time today to head off to new adventures. It's been a massive honor to be part of a game I love so much as a player and admire so much as a developer. I couldn't be more proud of my time at 343. French's exit follows a few other high-profile departures from 343 this year, including Bonnie Ross, the head of Halo, in September. There has been some bumps along the way, as well as such as the cancellation of Halo Infinite's local campaign co-op. According to his LinkedIn profile, French started out his career in video games as a scripter at Interplay and a programmer at Black Isle Studios in the late 90s. He then moved on to Pandemic Studios in 2004 and joined Xbox Game Studios Publishing as a designer director in 2010. In 2011, he moved across to 343 as a senior mission designer and became Halo's multiplayer creative director in 2016. Another one left. Yeah, I can remember the Bonnie Ross leaving as well. So yeah, it's a strange one. That Halo Infinite's really, especially with the online, seem to really have struggled with content, haven't they, of late?
The reason why this is here, it's not like another person has left. It's like Halo is like a massive title. It's got massive fan base. It's got books. It's got toys. It's got
TV show.
mega blocks. It's got a
Yeah,
TV show.
Yeah.
It's huge. You should be surfing a big wave, but I don't know. People come and go. Maybe Tom wanted to do something different in his career. Maybe he was, as I've said many times, you joined 343 in the hope that you make Halo and something else. Well, guess what, Tom? 11 and a half years, you're still drawing Master Chief's helmet. He ain't going to get any better than this. And again, I wonder if this is that issue with a studio that's only allowed to develop one game or one character in game. It'd be boring, wouldn't it? You know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. They've done some great things, and maybe it's disappointing that Halo Infinite didn't pop the way it should have popped. We spoke about this again last week, and I'll keep talking about it. That game should be really, really active. It should be knocking games. I don't know if anything can knock Fortnite or Warzone, but it should have at least made them poo their pants a little bit. Oh, look out, Halo's back in the playground. Everyone's bigger brother. Carefully, don't give you a Spartan punch into next week.
Yeah, well, it should be their it should be their exclusive, like God of War. It should be, their massive big game that everyone wants to play. But of late, it just seems struggled. I mean, I've played the earlier Halos. I've been playing them recently. I've loved them. I think they're brilliant. I haven't played this later one, but a lot of people are saying there's lack of content and there's not many map updates online, and it just seems a shame because that's something you think they would really push, like they did Forza, and
that's the one takeaway I have from this. Just what a shame. Just what a shame. Hopefully they don't lose any more people, or maybe he left because his position replacement had been secured and he was happy with the future of Halo. I mean, let's face it, he isn't going to go anywhere. But he could do with a reinvention to try and capture, a little bit of its... Thing is, Infinite's not necessarily a bad game, but, in the world of shooters these days, having a campaign's one thing. Locking people into your ecosystem to make sure they're playing it 18 months from now, that's the actual real aim of these games. So is Infinite doing that? On last count, sadly not. Any thoughts on that, Bobby?
No.
Just no. Well, I'll tell you what. Deliver us this next slice of news.
Does Fido want some fuss? Yes. Who's a good boy? Marvel's Midnight Suns trophy list has been revealed. An important mechanic that Fire Access games have been keeping under wraps. You can pet both a dog and a cat back at the home base. Viewable on full exophase, you'll earn a bronze trophy for stroking a pup called Charlie 15 days in a row. And then you'll earn another for giving a cat called Ebony some fuss on 4 different days. Now we see why Marvel's Midnight Sun has been so highly rated. Look through the complete list of digital dongs. The PlayStation trophy seems fairly achievable with no particular requirements, making really our eyes widen. You essentially just have to engage with everything tactical, completing all the sparring sessions with every superhero to upgrading the Abbey grounds. We're sure the trophy completion percentage relating to petting Charlie and Ebony will be the two of the highest rated trophies.
I want some artwork from anybody at this point in the Discord with Bobby showcasing what is probably the biggest digital dong in the history. Yeah. You do know in the UK that dong might also be how would one say
it's here too? It's also here too.
Oh, it is. Okay. So digital dong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a gong is what we in the UK might call a medal.
Yeah. No, well, we do this. We share that slang together.
Okay. Who loves petting animals in video games? Hands up.
I do.
I do too.
I was petting everything I could pet in Valhalla.
You are not only a man with an enviable list of digital dongs, but you're also a man with an enviable list of digital pets.
Mm-hmm.
Such care for animals in the real world and in games.
I
I love
them.
it.
I bet Bobby's still got a Tamagotchi hanging on his keychain.
RGT, what's the best digital pussy you've ever stroked?
Oh, I liked being Stray. That was a really good digital pussy. But I can't remember many that I've stroked.
We're so naughty. I mean, we're hard up now against the edge of what a PG podcast is and can be. I really feel like, this Nirvana era that we're in, it's a little edgy, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Sorry. Who's next on the news?
Okay. Not only is Marvel's Midnight Sun looks like it's going to gazump Callisto Protocol in the Christmas games, but it's got way more digital pets as well. So, in a way, that's good news. Last bit of news. All these good ideas, not one of them ever used. It seems the Metroid Prime series wasn't the only Metroid series being worked on at Retro Studios. Did you know gaming has been able to uncover one of the developers' other projects that never saw the light of day? Metroid Tactics was a concept pitched internally by Paul Tozer, a member of the Metroid Prime team. This mysterious project was aimed at the Wii, with the pitch written up in late 2007. Ah, what a beautiful time for gaming. After the completion of the third Prime game, it would have been a series prequel, with events taking place long before all the other games in the Metroid series. It marks the very moment when Samus Aran first separates from the Chozo, who raised her from childhood, encounters humanity and becomes a bounty hunter. The game also marks humankind's very first encounter with the space pirates and Metroids. Samus must cooperate with an elite team of highly trained Galactic Federation troopers and the colourful bounty hunters to stop the incursion on several Galactic Federation planets at various locations on planets such as Narayan and Earth, and eventually take on the space pirates at their outpost on planet Zebus. Tozer describes how the game would have been similar to the turn-based tactical series XCOM. He said, it's basically XCOM. It was XCOM in the Metroid universe, except instead of fighting aliens, you're fighting space pirates, who are also aliens, but different. Oh, that sounds like a confused man, if ever there was one. Samus would have been the main character in the game, but she apparently just one of many soldiers the player would have commanded. Players would have controlled one commander in particular, known as Justin Bailey, a throwback to the famous passcode in the original Metroid game on the NES. Tozer adds, the game takes the place of a Galactic Federation commander. He even has a name for him. I'm not going to repeat it. Pretty stupid name. He speaks a bit like Trump, doesn't he? The game takes. I'm not even going to try and do it, but it's the sort of thing he would say. The project is going to utilize the Wii's unique controls, and for Retro, it was going to be a relatively cheap project, as it would have reused much of the engine, art assets, and animation from the Prime series. So, what was the conclusion to Metroid Tactics? The project was only being worked on by Paul Tozer, and it was rejected by Retro's higher ups. So, Nintendo never ended up seeing the pitch. Did you know Gaming's video goes into it in detail? So if you want to know a little bit more about this lost gem, check it out on YouTube. Guys, we've said this before, and we'll say it again. Nintendo turned down more bangers than a breakfast all-you-can-eat buffet. They've got a great load of franchises, and they could do so many different things, but they don't.
Yeah. No. I also find they're very harsh with their takedown of videos as well, aren't they? I mean, on YouTube, they're very, very strict with anything Nintendo. I mean, there was a guy on there a few months ago. It's one of the Game Boy Advance Metroid games. Can't remember what they're called now, but it's one of them. He'd remade in sort of a modern look and rebuilt the whole game. He'd documented it on YouTube. That's fine. Done the final build. Disclaimer, took him down straight away, and I just thought, yeah, I don't know. They're so strict with things, and they seem very on a narrow path when it comes to games. But you say there's so many games they seem to have canned in the past. What makes me laugh
about that is they're not doing anything. That game wouldn't have been playable on any of their home consoles, current or previous, completely locked down, unless you're jailbreaking it and whatever. But you're probably too busy playing a Mega Drive game on your Wii than you are trying to hack this to get this to work. So why would they do that? If it'd be like just a bit of fan fiction, really, that's all this is. It'd be like me writing a story about what happened next in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, you know. Robin and Marion, they end up getting married, get a little castle, couple of kids. One of them kicks off, causes some trouble when he's a teenager. His dad ends up getting stabbed in a tavern. That's the sequel to Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
I like it.
It's dark.
Yeah, dark.
Sets
Very
up his
dark.
son as the new Robin Hood. You know,
but that's
keeping the name and the franchise alive, a bit like Batman.
I think with Nintendo, that's a controlling thing. I think, and they like to, especially if it's a spin-off or anything, they like to have the input in that game and make sure they got control over it the whole time. When someone, that's very unlikely with Nintendo, someone builds a new game or part of a new game and then pitches it to them that they take it on. That normally needs to be in-house that they're doing it, and I think that's a lot of the problem with them.
Nintendo can remaster everything they have, and people will still buy it no matter what, because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And Nintendo's been doing that forever, and it's not going to stop, and they're still going to be successful.
I mean, look at the Wii U. I mean, Wii U completely failed console, one of their worst consoles. And what they do, just rebooted the games onto the Switch, and they sell like hotcakes. Yeah. You know, so it's from...
The thing is, that kind of, to me, that showcases more the fact that they build quality software, that Nintendo need hardware that sells gangbuster numbers for them to be able to extract revenue. So they can make bangers of games, but if the console doesn't sell, so the Wii U, you know, decent little machine, which is badly communicated, no one played that. Rehash it, stick it on the Switch, sells gangbuster numbers. Told you were right. Told you we were right, Miyamoto. Great game, banging, boom.
Yep.
So they kind of, because of who they are and how they are, they need both to succeed at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know, maybe PlayStation had that issue when, you know, something like Gravity Rush releases on the Vita, good game. But really, in the skew of Vita owners who played that game, small. But re-release it, put it out with a sequel on PlayStation 4, a console that's supported in the millions, boom, sells numbers.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Sometimes
I would love... Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
Evil West. I've been curious about it. So my friend's going to send me a copy to play it. It seems when I first saw the gameplay, it's very God of War, just, you know, a vampire shooting things. If they made a Metroid game like that, but with more puzzles and everything, that would be awesome.
We make the best games on the show.
You could do it with Metroid and change it up and kind of soft reboot the franchise like that.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a soft reboot. It's just like
another continuation.
Another story in their universe told a different way. And that's one of the beautiful things about a video game. You know, today's Metroid Tactics, prequel to the Metroid saga, is, you know, tomorrow's next big game. It doesn't always have to be a third person.
It's true.
2D act. Let's face it, they took Metroid from 2D to 3D. So if you're talking reinvention, that's pretty big. And they do reinvent themselves, because we're not still playing... Well, hang on. We are still playing 2D Marios.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
They just do it so good.
That's rare occasion that they change it up, you know. And like you say, Metroid Prime went to first person, and it was a brilliant series, you know, and really sold big numbers.
Really,
but,
really good, yeah.
You know, that proves they can do it, and they put their mind to it and change things up, you know. And I mean, I played Metroid Dread, didn't finish it. It was a good game. It's a nice idea with the mechs in it, but then again, it's just old Metroid rehashed with high-res visuals on. You know, it's just a 2.5D side-scrolling platformer, and I think sometimes on the Switch, give us a Metroid we've never played before on the Switch. Give people reason to buy that Switch and buy a Metroid game, because, you know, make it really, really completely different. Like, you know, like Bobby said, base it on something like Evil West, something like that. You know. So you've got all different areas covered with a Metroid series, and we know they can do it. It's just not very often they do.
Yeah, true.
Well, I have one more question for you. Did we miss anything? Do you guys have an opinion or take on the news we missed? If so, how would the collected masses, Bobby, how would they get in touch with us and tell us that, George, you called yourself Private Parts at the start of the show? You're barely even out of basic training, pal.
They could reach us on Instagram or Twitter at Unofficial Controller Podcast. They could hit us up via email at questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, or they could hit those links and hit the Discord and let us know what we missed or if we've had any mistakes.
The Discord, the finest collection of human beings on planet Earth. If you want to become one of those people, you can't help the poor. You can't go to a food bank. The only thing you can do to get a little bit closer to God is join the Unofficial Controller Podcast Discord. And if you're not in there, I hate to tell it to you, you're not going to heaven. Simple as that. RGT's like, this is controversial, George. You can't tell people they're not going to heaven. I can, and I'm willing to do that, and I did.
I was more thinking this is going deep now. I mean, we're trying to get people on Discord, but telling them if they don't, they're not going to heaven.
I didn't discuss the alternative. I just said that's one thing that's not happening. Okay? So if you want to get right on the right-hand side of the big man, clickety click click. Simple as that. And when you're there, you'll be fine.
We did have 3 new listeners the other week join in. Meerkat 76, I think. Mrs. RGT's on there now, so look out.
Listen, what sort of barrel are we drumming where you pay off your own family members to voice? This show isn't that show. This
is dedication. This is.
What I don't understand is we have so many listeners listen to the show, but such a small percentage of those. Is that just how this works? Is it a funnel? Loads of people listen to the show. Those that are actually interested in joining the Discord, 3. What the? They get access to the reviews. They get access, and there's going to be some changes as well. We're going to be putting. Below doesn't know this, but he knows this now. We're going to be uploading scripts to the future features that we do. So when we do a feature episode in future, that script will be uploaded. Popped in the Discord, so people can read that. You're on the train. You maybe listen to all the latest episodes. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the feature because do you know what? I want to sit here and read. I want to feel like a brain. I want to feel like someone who absorbs literature. And for that, I'm going to go to the best place for that, which is the Discords of this mediocre podcast feature section. So they'll be able to pick up your gem, and then they'll be able to pick up the feature and read it in a sort of highbrow, edgy journalistic way.
Yeah. And plus, you got Sebastian's in there now from last week.
Yeah.
All his knowledge of indie games. If you loved the show last week, hop on the Discord, ask Sebastian a question. Any indie games or something you want to play or something you can't find or can't remember the name of? If it's indie, ask him. He's on there. He'll find it for you. You know, there's plenty of people with different interests on there and different genres of games and different systems from retro right to modern day. And it's a really good little community. Definitely recommend joining.
The crown jewel of this show is the community. Last week, Bobby, I don't know how to say this, mate, but while you were off, Stingray was described in the most insane way I've ever heard Ray described. It was a little scary, if I'm honest. He was dishing out tombstone power drivers left, right, and Chelsea. And he got a little bit sort of edgy because someone turned up with a boot full of games, and he was like, "That's my job, George. You know what am I going to do now?" So it's all right, Ray. You'll always have your games. You'll always have your boot. You'll always have your time. This week, I feel like Ray's going to have something to prove. What do you think a trapped, like when you trap a rat in the corner and it comes through your throat? What do you think a trapped Ray is going to come out the corner doing and looking like?
Well, first of all, he's going to be upset that he was even in this position to begin with.
You're right. Okay. That's going to damage his ego. Yeah. Okay. Right. So this is even more antagonistic. I don't know if it's
going to be.
And he's going to go twice as hard now. Twice as hard. Okay. He's going to turn our car turbo engine. Okay. Flux capacitor and everything. Okay. Okay. Interdimension ripping up the realms. That's what's going to happen to him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's coming in hard now. Yeah. 100%.
It's not Stingray anymore. It's Sting Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's bringing it too.
Well, with that, I heard the spectral hooves. It's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Stingray's boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battle for Endor this week? These are the release highlights for the week, December 5th to December the 11th, 2022. Listeners, these are out digital or physical, or will be for time this podcast in your feed, but could be region dependent. And oh my RGT, there's a mummy. He's popped spring stop. Whoa, I'm so excited. The boot's open, and I listen. I don't often use this saying, but I'm wetter than Otter's pocket at 6,000 fathoms, friend. There's something in the boot this week that has me literally a little bit nervous sweat, but like new girlfriend kind of feeling. So, oh,
I like it.
Oh, is that the fourth one?
1, 2, 3. No.
Oh.
It's the seventh one.
Oh, really? Hang on.
Oh boy, here we go. There it is.
Yeah,
There
okay.
it is.
I'll
Mine's
take
the
that
first
one. Yeah, I still had that last word in it. That's why I went for the fourth one. But yeah, okay.
Stimulator.
I can see why you're wetter than an otter's pocket, definitely.
Exactly.
Mm.
Okay, so to me this week, Ray, he's changed things up a little bit. He's embraced autumnal, and he's come really dressed as a trucker. Now, what I thought was an Nissan Bluebird is now a bonneted American truck. He's swung down from the cab, looking like the truck driver from Cannonball Run. No, I always get these films confused. Same guy, featuring vehicles, but the film I'm referring to, Schoolboy Error, is Smokey and the Bandit. And Wayne Ray, instead of seeing him as a rather vertically challenged child, I see him as a beagle hound with a mullet. And he's wearing a Hooters tank top because at this point. Okay.
That's tricky. That's different.
So I'm going to pick this out of the boot. Oh no, this was your mummy, Bobby, was it?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
I spoke about it before.
You reach round, knock Wayne out the way, and you grab that game. What is it?
Yep. I'm all about to reach around. I picked it up. Paper Cut Mansion for PS4 and Switch, December 5th. Paper Cut Mansion is a roguelite horror set in a paper cut.
First one.
Hey,
no, but you know what?
Decided to go full in. After Seb last week, he's like, no, I can do the roguelites as well, mate. He's even more of them this week. Fetch another roguelite out of the boot, right? What are you telling us about this game?
It's a roguelite horror game set in a papercraft world. You play as Toby, a police detective, arriving at a mysterious old mansion. So I saw some gameplay with this. The art style looks amazing. It looks like everything is made like with paper. Even the characters and the way they move and everything. So it looks
looks
interesting.
The one that's Mario RPG inspired? I bet it is.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, brilliant.
So that's what I immediately thought when I saw this. So it just hooked me from that day.
So that's your mummy.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Let me have a little rustle around in the boot, Raymond. Because that's what Ray is short for.
Yeah.
Right? It's the way I see it. Look out, Raymond. Or as Seb called him last week, I don't upset Mr. Stingray. Mr. Ray. That's such respect shown. I think it went to his head, to be honest. So Ray.
I also found out through the grapevine that Stingray is related to Lord Humongous.
What, from Mad Max?
That's right.
He's like the apocalyptic version of Stingray.
Wow. Raymungus. Well, I'm gonna
it's not really Raymond. If that's just from what I found out from this little secret book that was in that old mansion.
Oh. I think we need someone in the Discord to step up at this point and collate the lore, so we can have a lore Bible. And then I want someone to like do the artwork for it, like one of those DK books. So the unofficial controller visual dictionary, and there's like all the different drawings of how Ray's looked, and then how he interacts with the script, and what his family are, and pictures of them, and then like his hometown.
What would be interesting is seeing a beagle with a mullet and a Hooters t-shirt on.
That's it, yeah.
It's like a boob tube.
Yeah, because the lore is very much like Dark Soulsy. How you start to understand this man's life.
Yeah,
you know. You pick up a cloth, you pick up a pencil. Something's happening over here.
And when the show was like, when we did the show on a submarine, I want like a cutaway drawing of the submarine, like where we slept, where the games were.
Yeah,
where we had the news deciphering machine. When we did when we were at Farmerton, I want a picture of the village and all that sort of stuff with the characters and the names. And then I want all this to come together in the next week, so we can pump it on the Discord and sell it for $99.99 Patreon edition. You know, it will be with you in 5 years' time, but you need to support it with the Kickstarter now. Maybe it's like 10 grand a copy or something.
But if you get the digital version, you get it 4 days early.
Exactly.
4 days early before the day even of its creation.
4 days early.
Now that's what I have a pre-order.
And the front cover has a little hologram that changes. All types of Stingray.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, now reaching in the boot for the second time. This is one hefty show. Swordship out on the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, December the 5th. Swordship is a futuristic lightning-fast dodge 'em up, which flips the script on the traditional arcade shooter. Okay. RGT.
Quick one.
Well, yeah, get it in, get out. In, out. Minimum danger.
Right, we have Terror of Hemosaurus. That is a strange name. PS4 and PS5 on December the 5th. Xbox Series of Consoles and Xbox One, December... that's December the 5th. December 7th, Switch. No, I've done all this wrong, haven't I? Hang on, let me start again.
Mate, honestly, it's fine.
PS5, PS4, December 5th. Xbox Series of Consoles, December 7th. Switch, December 6th. Bang, done it. Right.
Question.
Yes.
Is a Hemosaurus an angry...
you need cream for.
Oh, I didn't know whether it was the sort of person that comes out the day before a new term of school when you rock in and either your trousers are too high or too short, and your mum has to mess around with the hem, but she's tired and she's missed Emmerdale. I see that
you would
as
have a Semisaurus.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Well, I look at my mum and I get a Semisaurus. Oh
no! I'm just saying,
Should I carry on?
I mean, what's happened to this show?
Well, it's nosedive today.
It's freaking Stingray, man.
Yeah,
it is. He's basically. We had a good show.
He riles us up. That's what it is.
Every time he turns up, I'm nervous. I never know what he's going to do.
No, you don't, and that's the problem. So we're on edge.
RGT's desperate just to tell us the blurb of this game so we can go home.
I'm more worried where we're heading with it, so I'm just trying to cover it over.
I don't even know anymore.
It's a retro city smash 'em up with satisfying destruction physics. The player is a giant monster unleashing terror upon mankind in this modern arcade experience with the action turned up to 11.
Okay. I'm straight in here with a game that... It's funny, but sort of game for a person that's never kissed a woman before. It's Firefighting Simulator, The Squad, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One, December 6th. I say that as I pick a simulator for the week.
Yeah,
Firefighting Simulator experience.
I was thinking you loaded a gun there.
Turned it on myself. All right. Yep. What kind of guy I am. What it means to fight fires up close as an active part of a major US city's firefighting team. Thanks, Ray.
Up next, we have Hello Neighbor 2 for PC, PS5, Xbox, PS4, and Xbox One, December 6th. Hello Neighbor 2 is a stealth horror game about digging up your creepy neighbor's secrets. But there's a twist. Each neighbor is controlled by advanced AIs. Can you outsmart the neighbors and find out what they're hiding? You know what I would like? I would like The Burbs 2, but in video game form, because that game reminds me of that.
Mm.
Wow, that's a great call.
Mm.
A sequel to a movie that was never going to get made, but done in a game,
Why not?
and adds as much to the lore and the franchise. Wow, that would be, if a game ever achieves that, we've arrived at a new form of entertainment pantheon. Impaler on the PC, December 6th. Impaler is a minimalist arena shooter with spikes. Oh my God, Ray. Do you know what? We never questioned that you know where to get the new games from or how to get them. And like you've had indies in there. And now all of a sudden Seb turns up and you're like, oh no, I'm the bigger guy. I'm the bigger guy. Like, calm down, Ray. It's got roguelike elements in it. Unique challenge. The next one is My Mummy. But RGT, it's your privilege and honor to read it out.
I think that's My Mummy as well, I think.
Sell it to me inside and out. Sell it to me. I want this to be, if I close my eyes, I want to feel like I'm watching the trailer.
Alaskan Truck Simulator. PC, PS5, Xbox Series of consoles, PS4, and even Xbox One.
What question?
Yes. Is it sexy?
It's more rapey.
I do get them too confused.
That's a little. You probably ought to cease all activities until you get that looked at, because that can land you in some pretty high water.
Yeah. Right, I'll go back to my normal voice. If it's just
what about Alaskan Truck Simulator? Why is it from the? Forget it. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Tell me what it's about.
Endless wastelands with towering peaks, harsh winters, and sunny spring-like meadows. Recognizable Alaskan towns and landmarks. It's a unique open world to explore. How to do it better than driving a truck across the entire state? Do you reckon that's going to be like SnowRunner then, do you think? Or is it more...
It's going to be nothing like SnowRunner. I'm not going to get stuck on a patch of ice the size of a postage stamp because my tyres are incompatible.
You love SnowRunner.
I do like it, but I sometimes find some of the progression a little bit restrictive.
You loved it when I had to hook my winch up and pull
me off. You're absolutely right. I loved it. Who wouldn't? Alaskan Truck Simulator, I see more like ice road truckers. You know, you're in the cab.
Yeah.
Although there's elements of survival apparently because of the weather. But I don't imagine I'm going to be sat not only in real life but in the digital world for 2 days.
Do you think you'll sink into like a lake?
I hope not, because then it would be SnowRunner.
Oh, I see.
And I like SnowRunner, but just sometimes I want to feel like I'm progressing. We do these jobs and it never felt like we were getting anywhere.
You got to put the hours in that game.
More than 60?
Yeah, I put on my single player mode, I put 88 hours in, and still hadn't finished the first map and was I'd done about 2 missions on the second map. And there was, how many maps was there? It was about 8, wasn't there?
Something like that.
10 maps, yeah. So I sort of waned a bit after that. Yeah.
It's a great game, George. Yeah. 18 plus hours in, still yet to unfold itself to us both. Farming Simulator was quicker to reward us.
Definitely.
Whose turn is it in the boot now?
It's mine, but I can't pronounce this word.
I would call it Ixion.
See? Brilliant. That's what it is. That college level right there. Ixion for PC, December 7th. Authorized by Delos AEC. You will guide the Topekan space station onwards a perilous journey to find new home for humanity. Station, infrastructure, population management, exploration, survival. These responsibilities fall to you. Will you find hope out there in the dark? Good luck, Administrator.
Sounds good.
What's next? Is it me? I don't even know anymore.
Yes. I think it's you. I think.
Okay. Togies, bogies. Call it what you like. Out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. Comes out December 7th. Togies is a charming name. Let's just be clear. It's got one word, but I don't know how to pronounce it. It's either Togies, or Toges?
See, I read it as Togs, so we just can't.
Oh,
It's hard.
Togs. Anyway, it's a charming and colourful 3D platformer. Go on adventures, stack adorable blocks, and solve puzzles around the cosmos to save the galaxy from the threats of the void. What's anywhere the void? What's Ray got next for us?
Chained Echoes, PC, PS5, Xbox series of consoles, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, December the 8th. A humorous pixel art strategy game set in a medieval world of wizardry. Dive into a supernatural universe and start building towers using your magical deck of cards and drunken dwarfs.
Wow. I don't know why, but Ray's tried to pass off Hello Neighbor 2 again. I don't know why he's done that.
But it's actually Gundam Evolutions. That's the problem when you go to Ray. Sometimes you go too far back.
Okay? Yeah, you see what he's done. He's given us a box for Hello Neighbor, but the Gundam Evolution's in there from last week. So
your real childhood friend you can't trust.
Yeah, either he's trying to rent it out or someone's trying to pull a fast one on Ray.
Is that you, Wayne? You messing around with him, Wayne? Leave him alone. You're getting all the games muddled up. God damn.
Leave him alone. He's just worked a shift at Hooters, and for a dog, that ain't easy.
Bloody beagle.
We got... It's the damn Hooters top, man.
Yeah.
Stood up with one paw on a bar, smoking a Lambert like his dad. Yeah. It's literally an anatomically correct human beagle. Up next, Necro Bouncer on the PC, December 8th. Happy Hour has arrived. Become the Necro Bouncer and toss out rowdy guests in a... Ray, we've got another roguelike. Yes, you can find roguelikes too, pal. Absolutely well done. Adventure through the nightclub dungeon. This appeals to me. Sounds like Little Big Workshop, but that's not got roguelike elements in it. Unless you build the same item again and again. Raise the dead, discover hundreds of relics, ban enemies, and gobble up their powers. It's one hell of a good time.
Up next, we have Rumblefish 2. Which I didn't know there was even an original game.
So good they made it twice.
So good. It's PC, the PlayStations, and the Xboxes, and the Switch. December
beautifully
8th.
Simple, eloquent.
A legendary arcade game developed by Dimps in 2005. Where was I? I don't know. This fighting game gained popularity for its smooth visuals powered by SMAs, as well as the high level of strategy driven by its 2-gauge system. And with the addition of new current gen features, it's even easier to play.
Nice. Okay.
Right. Dragon Quest Treasures, Switch, December 9th. With the vast world of Draconia to explore and tons of tantalizing treasure to find, Eric, Mia, and their cute companions will need some help. The team soon befriends and recruits a veritable variety of well-mannered monsters by making use of these monsters' magical visions of hidden treasure and their unique treasure hunting abilities. Our heroes will race over open fields, scale cliffs with a single bound, and glide over gaping chasms to locate loot in even the most fiendishly inaccessible spots.
Sounds a lot like Stingray.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were in Grytviken in South Georgia, you would get a visit from the Ray on an hourly basis if you wanted it. Who's next? Me?
Yep.
Jitsu Squad, PS5, PS4, and Switch, December 9th. Jitsu Squad is a Marvel vs. Capcom 4-player co-op tag team beat-em-up with epic character transformations and fast-paced combat.
Nice.
Wavetail for the PC, the PlayStations, the Xbox, and the Switch. December 12th. Surf the waters of submerged city, unravel the past, save the islanders from a mysterious sea monster, and discover the secrets hidden under the surface.
What was your mummy again, Bobby?
Paper Cut Mansion.
Of course it was. A man of class and elegance, whereas me and RGT rocked up behind a lorry simulator, as we call them. And it's not even one that's officially endorsed by any brands. I've had to just throw it out there and set it in Alaska in the hope that people can get the idea it's meant to be ice road truckers in bonneted lorries. And
Are all the simulator games made by the same people?
they look and smell like it, but sadly, no.
Really?
Hmm.
Mm.
You thought that was like a thing? I thought that was a thing.
No. I think they're maybe published by similar houses when they get round to release, but then they're not always developed by the same companies. So,
Mm.
and I think they use similar physics engines as well. Like the Giants games seem to use, when you're digging Gold Rush the game, it seems to feel like, and like SnowRunner doesn't feel like that too far away spiritually from Farming Simulator, does it? Like the mud and the physics of the traction and all that. So maybe.
I
Yeah.
have an idea.
Okay, far away.
It could be called Podcast Simulator.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And you have to create your own character, your own people, personalities. Okay. You have to do stories. You have to make sure everyone's happy. You got to make sure they get paid. You got to make sure you do this. You got to make sure you're on time. You got to make sure you're engaging your audience.
So I think they done a YouTube one, didn't they?
Oh, they have.
YouTube. Oh my God. I think the official title is OMG YouTuber's Life.
Oh.
Catchy.
Okay. Never mind then.
But your one sounds better, but it does make me feel a little bit of a failure as the show's unofficial father. I've let you down on every single one of those tracks that you see is the style of a good podcast. I mess up the pay.
Let me tell you something.
What?
Do you know how much I love you? Okay. I get up in American time, New York time, to be here with you guys. And I enjoy it.
Legend.
I'd have just been putting the controller down from Little Big Planet, if not Little Big Planet, Little Big Workshop.
Yeah.
Straight from one job to the next.
You've probably been playing it while you're online.
Say sorry now, okay? They're employees of mine and they need looking after. So yes,
that'd be George. It's time for the news. Hang on, I'm making yachts.
Making a yacht. What's wrong with you? I've got a blockage in my loading bay. I've got a stressed trucker throwing materials all over the factory site. I need them on that specific shelf. Yeah. With that, Ray immediately turned into an Amazon parcel that was collected from the drive by a man that looks like he used to be a beagle, but has now chosen human form again. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what I'm seeing anymore. Thing is, I know what I do see, and someone scrawled down here on a piece of paper the words, "What are you hoping to play?" Who wants to go? Let me spin the podcast randomator. Stop. Bobby, what are you hoping to play?
A God of War Ragnarok. And just continue that until it's done.
Throat chop, tombstone pile driven through 2 tables.
Yeah, nice.
Fine. Okay. RGT, what are you hoping to play?
Definitely more Harvestella. It's got us hooked to me, that game. Going to put some more hours into that. Definitely not Grid Legends. That's back in the shelf and that's where that will remain. But I have at the moment got EA access, so I'm a bit tempted to try Need for Speed Unbound. Just have a little dabble.
That's reviewing very well, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, that is. So. That's what I didn't like the art style that they'd gone with the 2 mix-ups, but I've watched a few reviews and thought, I might have a little old dabble this week. So yeah, we'll see. I might have a little go at that.
I just think it looks cool. It's a little bit fresh. It's a little bit different. They had to do something.
It's growing on me. I think you're completely correct there where you've said it's fresh and different. I think if they had knocked out another Need for Speed game, people would have gone, meh. This
the same person that's
done.
talking to me now saying, "Oh, it looks a bit too different to me," would have been saying, "Do you know what, George? What I really would have loved is if they just took a chance on something different for the brand."
Yeah, no, you're right.
They've done that, and you're like, "I'm sorry, but when that BMW E46 left the factory, it did not have neon spraying out of its tires and exhaust." No, nothing ever did.
No, you're right. Just at first, it had to grow on me. It was just that cel-shaded cartoon style with realism. It was something really different, and that's had to grow on me a bit. I'm still not sure, but I'm
now
more...
you know how Mrs. RGT feels.
Well, definitely. But I'm still now more interested with the gameplay, and there's a couple of different sort of modes on it. Yeah, so I might have a dabble. Might have a dabble with that this week. So, what about you, George? What are you hoping to play?
Me, I could have a million gaming aspirations. Going to finish God of War. Going to play through and get Callisto Protocol done. Feel good about myself.
We know what you're going to play.
Or let's face the reality. I'm going to go lash myself down to Little Big Workshop. I've only got like probably 3 or 4 trophies left to pop. I need £1 million in the bank. Need a level 40 factory.
Oh, wow.
I'm level 27, so I'm getting there. I need to develop my relationship with the last 2 bespoke customers, which is going to take some time because you've just got to do job after job after job after job with them to build up the experience and the trust level in you. So I've got those 2 to do. And then I need to start a new game, just a quick game to, there's a little Easter egg hidden in the first sort of small section of the map when you play. And then you need to skip the tutorial. On completion of skipping the tutorial, I will have unlocked the platinum.
That's nice.
I must admit, it's got me a bit intrigued, this game.
It does. I'm thinking about it. I was looking at it now when he mentioned it.
If you like Harvest Moon or that other third-rate garbage, Stardew Valley.
Steady.
If you've got a passing interest in Harvestella, if you've got a passing interest in how do they make that or how do they do that on Discovery, that show where they go around the factories. If you've got a passing interest in like little management sims like Roller Coaster Tycoon or Planet Coaster as it is now, or that Jurassic World Evolution game, 1 or 2, then you will absolutely love this game.
It feels like a very Christmas game for me, something you can sit down.
Especially when they've got their little Santa hats on, pal. Yeah. And last night I did a job for Father Christmas.
No.
Yeah. He wanted
cool
72 sleds, but like the ones in God of War Ragnarok with that get pulled by dogs. He wanted those. We need to get around the North Pole a little bit quicker. Can you do me this? I said, yes, Anthony. Give me 107 grand for it. I was like, yes, please, Santa. Give me 3 more of those, and I'll get another trophy.
You know what's amazing?
Sounds good.
Sometimes you want to play a game like God of War Ragnarok because you like just such a thing. Sometimes you find something like this that's just a relaxing game, even though we're all adults having a good time with it.
Do you know what's controversial?
That's what it's about.
I know it doesn't really qualify for Game of the Year because it came out 2 years ago and also has no real story to it. But there'd be times where if this had come out this year, with the amount of time, like MLB, the amount of time I've put into it, technically it is my Game of the Year. But
that's what I do. I do my Game of the Years. I don't care when it came out. Whatever I played, calendar year, is my Game of the Year for me.
In between Christmas and New Year, when we put out one of those shows when we're so full of turkey that we can barely speak, I actually think we should do Game of the Year.
100%.
Based
we all
on
have
your
our own
credentials, Bobby.
Our own Game of the Year,
it doesn't matter when it came out.
I mean, I'm going to have some old games in that from what I've played this year.
But you know what? Wake. That's awesome. It won't be the same typical Game of the Year show.
That's a brilliant idea. Yeah, I'm up for that. That's brilliant.
And we can all wear a tux and see in the new year. Just as a bit of foreshadowing, when Ray left today and he was all mardy and upset because of what's gone on, some would imagine that we've planned this week's game. We're building towards this. But he said to me, do you know what, George? I might be done with this whole video game delivering malarkey. I was like, really, Ray? What would you do as an alternative? He just whispered to me, magic beans.
Oh.
Like Jack and the Beanstalk?
Whoa. I mean, that means that we nailed the... Who knows what the Christmas episode's going to be about? Okay. Who knows what it's going to be about? Have I shot my bolt too soon? I don't know. Maybe Ray has. Who knows? So you've asked me, and I've asked you, and I've asked you, and you've asked me what we're hoping to play. A man that probably has done 100 and some odd episodes of the show should probably know the routine that the show goes in. Before we finish, guys, do you have any more gaming wisdom to impart on the assembled millions at this point who listen to this show?
I'd just like to say, don't forget Retro Replay Arcade. If you're in the Norwich area, definitely check them out. Fantastic place, fantastic price, great staff. Definitely check them out.
Do you think we should do? I think we should record a trailer in the style of one of those adverts that would have played before a movie in the 80s, like one of the locally produced ones that the cinema would make. Like, are you in the area of Norwich in and around a night or weekend? Do you play retro games? Do you like arcades? That sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Then contact Retro Replay on 01775. What is the phone code for Norwich?
You're testing.
You call the phone code.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
we
amazing.
actually call it. Don't laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong on RGT, but it's called an STD code.
That's what you guys call it?
Yeah.
So when you ask somebody you ask for that? That's how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a code
Get
for an
outta
area
here.
and then a number. So you have a code for an area and then a number.
And the code for the area is called the STD code.
Yeah.
See, we have. Oh, no one ever said that here, and
I bet
at least
they
in my
didn't.
knowledge. But recently, you didn't have to ever put the area code. But about, I don't know, 20 years ago, they changed it.
Mm.
So now it's just your number. What's your number?
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't say cell number. We don't say what's your number.
Mm.
And you guys call it the what? CT.
S.
CT is like damage from the brain.
TD. Yeah.
STD.
Yeah.
Like a sexually transmitted disease.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
that's
it.
the one.
This is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever heard all day.
I
your
can imagine
STD?
Bobby. He goes to his local bodega. He's like, "Hey, Bobby, how you going?" He said, "I'm good, man." Do you know what's troubling me? He said, "What's that, Bobby?" Not only is this coffee exorbitantly hot like magma, and I don't know how the cup contains it, nor my hand doesn't melt away in front of it, but do you know those crazy cats in the UK? Like, what are they doing? You know, bro, STD stands for sexually transmitted disease. Yeah, that's right, Bobby. Yeah. These crazy cats. These crazy cats in Britain. That's what they call the code before their phone number, man. Really?
I have to say something. Well, I can't repeat it on air, but I was getting some of the English slang, curse words. I've been throwing that out for the past 3 weeks now at everybody I can hit up.
That was hilarious. That was
it's
the hilarious on
unbelievably
Discord. giving you
Hilarious.
different
I've been
slang.
calling everybody everything under the sun you can imagine. And they're just like looking at me like, what's your problem?
If you want to find out what Bobby's unique UK cuss words are,
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
the
it's
only
the
place
best.
you can find that's a Discord exclusive.
It is the best.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Well, as everyone stampedes off right now to go listen to the Discord, it leaves me only one thing left to do, and that's to say that's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for your time. We look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you guys.
See you later, guys.
Peace.